Hello friends, have you ever wondered why some people take the biggest risks while others get scared of even the smallest things? Why is it that some people make big decisions in their lives without hesitation, while others think 1,000 times before taking any step? Is risk-taking an innate talent that only a few special people possess, or can it be learned? Risk, or taking chances, is a part of life that we have to face whether we like it or not. But the question is, what is the right way to take risks? Does it depend solely on luck, or is there a scientific logic behind it? If we learn this art, can we also make the biggest decisions of our lives without fear? Today, we are going to talk about a book that reveals the science behind risk-taking, The Art of Risk. This is not just a book, but a mindset that teaches us how to control fear, take calculated risks, and achieve extraordinary success in life. Risk-taking is not just for daredevils or adventure seekers. It is a skill that anyone can develop, whether you want growth in your career, business, or personal life. Taking risks is essential, but there is a big difference between taking the right risks and taking unnecessary ones. This book explains the system in our brain that decides whether we will accept a risk or retreat in fear. Is there a way to train our minds to take the right risks at the right time? Do our past experiences, way of thinking, and personality influence whether we become risk-takers or not? The biggest lesson from the book is that fear is always the biggest obstacle to risk-taking. However, the truth is that successful risk-takers are not those who are fearless, but those who learn to manage their fear. Risk-taking does not mean acting recklessly without thinking. It means understanding your fear, clarifying your goals, and then handling the risk with a smart strategy. If you want to become a bold and confident person in life, if you want to be among those who follow their biggest dreams without fear, then this video is for you. In this video, we will decode the most powerful strategies from The Art of Risk that will teach you how to develop the right balance of risk-taking and achieve success by controlling fear. So, without wasting any more time, let's begin this exciting journey and learn the real art of taking risks. Chapter 1, Your Brain on Risk. Have you ever wondered why some people are not afraid to jump off a high cliff, ride a bike at high speed, or invest millions in their business, while others hesitate to take even small risks? Is it just a matter of personality, or is there some scientific logic behind it? This chapter reveals something surprising. Risk-taking is not just about luck or boldness. It is a deeply wired biological process that happens in our brain. Whenever we are in a risky situation, our brain quickly calculates whether the risk is safe, whether the results will be positive, and whether we can handle failure. But the interesting thing is that not everyone's brain processes risk in the same way. Some people are naturally more risk-taking, while others are more cautious. Why is this? The roots lie in our brain. When we face a risk, our brain makes decisions based on three major systems: the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, and the dopamine system. The amygdala sends alert signals when we see a big risk, telling us to stop because it could be dangerous. This is why we feel fear when standing at a height, or before starting a new business. But the story doesn't end there. The prefrontal cortex logically analyzes the risk, comparing our past experiences, goals, and potential reward. If it thinks taking the risk is the right move, it overrides the amygdala. The dopamine system, also known as the feel-good chemical, gives us a sense of thrill and excitement. When we take a risk and succeed, dopamine sends a strong reward signal, making us want to take more risk. However, an overactive dopamine system can sometimes lead us to make wrong decisions, like gambling or extreme risk-taking behavior. The question is, can we control risk-taking? Can we train our brains to take the right risks at the right time and avoid unnecessary ones? Yes, it is possible. If we understand these three systems, we can manage our fear, improve our logical thinking, and control our dopamine system. The key message of this chapter is that risk-taking is not a random talent, but a biological and psychological process that we can master. Those who take smart risks create a perfect balance between instinct, experience, and logical thinking. They neither act recklessly nor miss opportunities due to fear. So, the next time you face a big decision, ask yourself, is my amygdala stopping me? Is my prefrontal cortex analyzing this risk correctly? Is my dopamine system pulling me toward the right reward? If you understand this framework, you can handle any risk wisely and achieve big goals in life. Risk is an art, and it is possible to master it. You just need to understand your brain. Chapter 2, The Myth of Fearlessness. Have you ever seen people who jump off heights, race bikes at high speeds, or invest millions in new business ideas without hesitation? We think they are fearless, but is that really true? Are some people born without fear, or is this just a myth? This chapter breaks this big misconception. Fearlessness does not exist. The truth is that everyone feels fear, no matter how brave they seem. The difference is that some people learn to manage their fear, while others let it control them. Whenever we are in a risky situation, our brain goes into alert mode. We feel an invisible anxiety. Our heart rate increases, our palms sweat, and our brain tells us to stop because it could be dangerous. This is our amygdala putting us into survival mode. This system has been inside us for millions of years and helps us avoid danger. But in today's world, risks are not just about wild animals in the jungle. They are also about career decisions, public speaking, investments, and relationships. Yet, our brain still reacts the same way. So, how do the world's biggest risk takers make such bold decisions? Do they not feel fear? The truth is, real risk takers are those who feel fear, but still move forward. They don't ignore their fear, they understand it, accept it, and then use it as their strength. This is the real mindset shift that separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. A professional skydiver feels fear when jumping from thousands of feet, and an entrepreneur feels fear of failure when starting their first business. But the difference is that they don't let fear control them. They know that fear is just a signal that they are stepping out of their comfort zone, and growth happens only outside that zone. When we fully understand fear, we can use it to our advantage. Fear makes us alert, forces us to think, and prepares us better. A little fear can improve our performance, but too much fear can paralyze us and stop us from making decisions. The most important thing is not to suppress fear, but to learn to manage it. Instead of thinking, how can I eliminate fear? We should think, how can I move forward with this fear? The world's greatest leaders, athletes, and artists don't eliminate fear, they make it their friend. So, the next time you feel anxious about a risky decision, don't see it as a weakness. It's a signal that you are pushing your limit. Feeling fear is not wrong, but losing an opportunity because of fear is the biggest mistake. Fearlessness is a myth, but fear management is an art. This is the biggest lesson of this chapter. If you learn this art, no fear can stop you from achieving your dream life. Chapter 3, The Risk Ladder. Have you ever wondered why, in the same situation, some people move forward without fear while others hesitate and retreat? Imagine two friends standing on a high cliff. One is ready to jump, while the other feels uncomfortable and steps back. Or two entrepreneurs face the same challenge. One takes the risk, while the other gets stuck. Why does this happen? Everyone's risk-taking level is different. It's not a fixed trait, but works like a ladder. Every time we take a risk and succeed, our brain becomes ready for the next bigger risk. But if we keep avoiding risks, our confidence decreases, and we start feeling fear even in small decisions. Think of a child learning to ride a bike. At first, they wobble and fall, but gradually, they learn to balance. Once they ride a short distance without falling, their confidence increases, and soon they are riding around the neighborhood without fear. This is the risk ladder. By taking small risks, we prepare ourselves for bigger ones. But if the child gives up out of fear, they will never learn. Now, apply this to real life. Suppose you have a fear of public speaking. If you think you can speak in front of thousands of people without fear, it will seem impossible. But if you take small steps, first speaking in front of friends, then in small groups, and then in meetings, your confidence will grow, and you will overcome your fear. The world's biggest risk takers have also climbed this ladder. No one becomes an extreme risk taker overnight. Every big decision, every big adventure, and every big success starts with small risk. This is why some people handle high-risk situations with ease. They have gradually developed their risk-taking ability. The biggest lesson of this chapter is that if you are afraid of taking risks in life, you don't need to take a big risk right away. You just need to take one step up the risk ladder. Accept small challenges, step out of your comfort zone, and gradually leave your fear behind. If you always stay in your safe zone, your life will never change. But if you build your risk-taking ability step by step, you can achieve what seems impossible today. Risk is like a ladder. Small steps can take you to great height. The question is, are you ready to take the first step? Chapter 4, Training for Risk. Is risk-taking a talent that some people are born with, or is it a skill that can be learned and developed? This question is crucial because when we see risk takers, whether they are high-stakes entrepreneurs or extreme athletes, we think they have some superpower that allows them to make bold decisions without fear. But the truth is different. Risk-taking is not magic. It is a skill that can be learned with the right training. When we talk about taking risks, it's not just about luck or natural boldness. It depends on how prepared we are for the situation. Risk-taking is not a coin toss. It's a calculated process that you can improve by training your mind and body. Think about it. When a firefighter enters a burning house, do they just jump in without thinking? No, they know how fire spreads, where to go, and how to minimize danger. They have trained and practiced drills repeatedly so that their brain is ready to make the right decision at the right time. This is training for risk, preparing your mind and body so that when a high-stakes situation arises, you can make the right decision without panic. If you want to invest in a new business, will you put in millions without research? Of course not. First, you'll study the market, analyze data, talk to experts, and then take a calculated risk. This is the real formula for risk-taking: the right preparation, the right knowledge, and the right execution. To improve risk-taking, the most important thing is exposure. If you are afraid of something, you need to repeatedly put yourself in that situation so that your brain starts to see it as normal. When a Navy SEAL first trains to hold their breath underwater, they panic, but after repeated training, their brain starts to see it as normal, and they can complete their mission without fear. This concept applies to all kinds of risk-taking. Another important thing is simulation. Before taking a real risk, you can practice it. Pilots practice in flight simulators before flying at thousands of feet. Doctors train in virtual reality before performing surgeries, and athletes repeatedly test their performance. When your brain has already experienced a situation multiple times, the fear of taking the real risk decreases significantly. Now, the question is, can anyone become a smart risk taker? The answer is yes. If you give yourself the right training and exposure, you can step out of your comfort zone and make better decisions. Every big risk taker starts by taking small steps and preparing themselves. This is the biggest secret. The biggest lesson of this chapter is that risk-taking is not a magical power, but a learnable skill. If you get the right training, develop the right mindset, and gradually expose yourself to risks, you too can join those who take big risks smartly and achieve great success in life. So, the question is, are you ready to train yourself for the next risk? Chapter 5. The Power of Intuition. Have you ever felt that before making a big decision, a voice inside you said, "This is right, do it," or when you saw a situation, you suddenly realized, "Something is wrong here, I should stay away"? This inner voice, often called a sixth sense or gut feeling, is what we call intuition. Did you know that the world's biggest risk takers rely heavily on their intuition when making decisions? Intuition is not magic or a mystery. It is a powerful decision-making tool in our brain that we often ignore. Intuition gives us the ability to feel things that our conscious mind cannot immediately understand. When an experienced doctor can guess a patient's illness without tests, when an investor invests in a big company without much data, or when a soldier senses an unknown danger, it is the power of intuition. So, how does intuition work? Whenever we have a new experience, our brain stores it. These stored pieces of information and patterns accumulate in our unconscious mind. When we are in a risky situation, our brain quickly scans these past experiences and sends us a signal without any logical analysis. This is right, or this is wrong. This is intuition. To understand this, let's take a simple example. Imagine you are in a new city and see two paths. One is clean and well lit, while the other is dark and deserted. Without much thought, your mind will tell you that the first path is safer because your brain has created a pattern based on past experiences and stories you've heard since childhood that dark and deserted paths can be dangerous. This is intuition. In risk-taking, the same thing happens. When a professional poker player can guess their opponent's hand without seeing the cards, when a stock market trader can predict whether a company's shares will rise or fall, or when an athlete makes the right decision without thinking, it is all because of their intuition, which comes from years of experience. The more experience you have in something, the sharper your intuition becomes. But an interesting thing is that intuition is not always right. Sometimes, our brain creates wrong patterns based on past experiences, and we can make wrong decisions. That's why it's important to sharpen your intuition by gaining more experience and cross-checking it with data and logic. Don't blindly trust your intuition. balance it with logical thinking. The biggest advantage of intuition in risk-taking is that it helps us make quick decisions when we don't have much time to think. When we need to take immediate action, our conscious mind cannot process things as quickly, but our intuitive mind is already prepared. This is why experienced people can make faster and better decisions. Their intuition is already sharp. The biggest lesson of this chapter is that intuition can work like a superpower, but it needs to be developed. The more you expose yourself to new experiences and learn from past mistakes, the better your intuitive power will become. And when your intuition becomes strong, you will be able to make quick and right decisions in any risky situation. So, the question is, are you ready to unlock the power of your intuition? Conclusion. Risk is a word that brings excitement to some and fear to others. But risk-taking is not a random act, it is a learnable skill. It is connected to our brain's hardwiring, our experiences, and our personality. In this book, we learned how our brain processes risk, how to manage fear, and how small, calculated risks can lead to great success. The art of risk teaches us that anyone can become a smart risk-taker if they adopt the right mindset and training. The world's greatest entrepreneurs, athletes, and leaders developed their risk-taking skills and stepped out of their comfort zones to make big decisions. They not only overcame their fear, but also saw risk as an opportunity. The biggest lesson of this book is that risk-taking is not a coin toss, it is an art. The more you understand and practice it, the more